resources. There's a suggestions box up at the top, a link to make suggestions. You can see, wait a minute, excuse me. You can make suggestions there, and there's also live support chat for you as well as the support center. We're already getting people asking if this is going to be recorded and replayed. It is presently recording, and yes, if everything goes well with the recording, there will be a replay. There's a suggestion box up at the top, a link to make suggestions. But we have a lot going on, so we cannot guarantee that it will be recorded. I'm going to try to go about fast. Yes, there is a replay. Now, Video Maker FX support questions, please hold them. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Please do not ask support questions. You must email support, and it's right down here. It's going to be on most of these screens. Support at videomakerfx.zendesk.com. Simple Video Pro support questions. There's a lot of Simple Video Pro lovers in the house. Simple Video Pro support questions, go to support.rzminc.com. And any other questions that relate to what we are talking about today, if you don't get your questions answered, you can email us at office@simplevideopro.com. Again, this is going to be up through most of the slides, so we have plenty of time to copy this information down. Okay, I'm not taking it away from you. There is a Q&A session at the end of this webinar as well. The content's going to be very fast, so please take a moment to get a pen and paper. Take notes. Jot down your questions. It's the most important thing. If you have a question that pops in your head, just write it down. So we'll probably cover the answer to your question. Write it down. If we cover it, check it off. If we don't cover it, please ask. Madeline says, pen ready. Right. Ask for questions and get answers in the Q&A at the end. This isn't for support. This is for training. Format. This webinar, we're kind of pulling back a little bit. The first session is going to be a bit lighter than what we've been doing. We've been running 3-hour marathon, fire hose, people are drowning out there because we're providing so much information. And we're still going to provide a lot of information, but this is more of an orientation along with some valuable training. We are developing a full curriculum, guys, for you. Okay. Now, this training, I want to make sure that this is perfectly clear, because it is fire hose. This training is out there on sale. It's never guaranteed, and basically, you're not paying for any of this training. I want everybody to realize that. If you recommend that. Or anywhere else. Basically, if the inmate starts to run the asylum, they'll be excused. Okay? Can I get an amen there? Can I get a yes? You guys all with me? All right. Great. Yeah, we're not going to let anybody distract us. We're going to get you as much awesome energy as we possibly can. Thank you, guys. The support is scrolling by faster than I can even read the names. There are now 796 people in this room. So you can imagine what would happen if we get a few people mucking it up. All right. Now, when we look at the full scope of what we want to share with you, this training might just actually continue for a while. Okay, it's going to be more than just today. So if we don't cover everything today, don't worry. There's plenty to cover, and it's impossible to cover it in one webinar or even one day. We're looking at ways to shorten the time by finding better ways to open rooms beyond 1,000 people. Right now, we can only fit 1,000 people in the room. We're at 800 right now. We're expecting that we're going to max out because a lot of people come late. Every once in a while, I'm going to get a drink of water. I might put some information up on the screen for you to absorb or to write down or take a note on, okay, or maybe a link to visit or something like that. But when I do, I'm going to take a drink of water. If it's going to be a little bit of a break, I'll put some music on for about 30 seconds so you guys can not have that silence thing going. Is that okay with you guys? All right. Yes, getting tons of yeses, okays. Yep, sir. Yes, sir is excellent. Thank you very much appreciated, guys. I really, I love all the support that we get from you. It's so encouraging and energizing. It's awesome. All right, at some point, we're going to step outside of our program because we have some special guests on. We're going to take a step back directly into VideoMaker FX for a little bit because we have our special guest, Joey Soto, and we also have Peter on the line here, creator of VideoMaker FX, and they want to share some tips with you about VMFX and how to tweak your videos. And Joey's going to go into some details on that while I run the screens. Okay, so good stuff coming for you guys. So we're getting curriculum. Big things are on the way. We're going to be informative, valuable, and free. This is free. We want to have some fun. We're going to take some breaks, and we're going to step outside the program, as I just said. This is the Advanced Webinar Training Series. We've got a lot in store for you in this series, okay? Some of the event sessions will need to be repeated when we have over 1,000 people in the room, and again, until we find a system that has more capacity. We're here to help, and we want to take you from A to Z, okay, while bringing in special guests like Joey and Peter to teach you as well. This curriculum is designed, I seem to be too excited and cannot speak. Give me just a moment to take a drink of tea here. Hang on. Woo! All right. That's hot. Okay. This curriculum is designed to dress you all for success, okay? And given that we always over-deliver in these free courses, we have set some of these guidelines that we just mentioned. So please respect them and refrain from offhand comments about the speed of delivery and things like that. Unlike the basic training of the last 10 days, this is not the place to discuss any technical issues. No support issues or anything that's not directly related to this course. Okay, you have lots of options for those things, and we hope that you are able to use them. If you're waiting for any kind of support, it's because there's a backlog. Peter's got, I think, 10 people on his team now. This is the biggest launch in the history of these marketplaces, and they're getting a lot of people behind it. We have been stepping in to help, so your questions will be answered. All right, rest assured. So to start today, we're going to cover a little bit about the art of finding leads. Now, this is not a full-on lead finding course, but we're going to just talk about some solid basics, okay? And we're not going to provide you with things like email scripts or pitch sheets or anything else of the nature, because it's foolish to expect us to provide those things for every niche out there. It's really impossible. We don't subscribe to the whole mass spam mail theory, send out enough and you'll get enough back. It doesn't work for us, okay? We're going to provide some insight on the proper way to do these things for you, and today's discussion is going to focus on the do's and the do-nots, really. Later modules, we're going to cover purposing, presenting and closing the sales for your services to maximize conversions, using many techniques and tools to create videos that convert, and the rest of the, excuse me, let me take a breath here. Woo, man. We're going to talk about structuring videos for conversions. We're going to talk about video engagement. We're going to talk about how to keep the viewer glued to the screen. We're going to provide you with video asset management services, YouTube marketing, affiliate marketing, and actually what I meant to say was we're going to teach you how to provide video asset management services for your clients. Okay? Sound good for you guys? And this is over the course of the entire series, and we'll probably be adding a lot of that. Karen says the audio is gone. Can you guys hear me? It looks like you can because you're responding to my questions. Excellent, excellent, great, great. Okay. Today's topics. We're going to talk about finding raw leads and new clients, and we're going to do that through searching and some other resources. And we're also going to look at the lead finder software that Peter provided as part of one of the upgrade packages. And then we're going to talk about personalizing your pitch, because nobody, at least nobody that I know of, likes spam. All right, it doesn't matter if it has 25% less sodium; it still is spam. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to teach you how to spam less and convert more. We are also going to talk about VMFX and Camtasia video production tips with Joey Soto. And then I just want to announce we have a coming event. It's tomorrow, okay? It's a Simple Video Pro Advanced Marketing webinar where we show you how to use our tool, Simple Video Pro. You don't have to be a member to participate and to get a lot of good information out of this, because we're talking about techniques. It just so happens the tool that we're using is completely awesome, Simple Video Pro. And we're going to talk about the art of gluing eyeballs to the screen to boost your business sales. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and check out the link here, bookmark it, whatever you need to do. I'm going to put it in the chat. Please bookmark this link or go to it and register right now. And actually, now's the time for me to just take a really quick 20-second break with a little bit of music, because I got to clear my throat. Hang on.
Actually, hold the music. Hold the music, Nick.
Go ahead, Aim, while I take a break.
Yeah, guys, we've been having problems with the links in the chat box in recent days. If it doesn't click, if it's not clickable, just copy paste it into your browser and check if there's no extra spaces or code or whatever. We have been having issues with when you click the links. It works for some people, doesn't work for others. So just feel free to copy paste it.
Good. Excellent. Got some herbal tea with honey in here to save my voice. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people say that it works, and a lot of people saying if they copy paste it, it works for them. So very cool. Excellent.
And no, it is a different webinar tomorrow, and it's tomorrow on the 22nd at the same time, 4 p.m. PST.
Right, and it is different material, definitely. Yeah, definitely different. All right. Okay, let's go on here. Now let's go ahead and find a prospect real quick. We're going to talk a little bit about sources. We're going to talk about using Google, using the lead finder, and then we don't want to be spam. And the example that I've had is it's actually, this stuff, honestly, guys, is not it's not rocket science, but you have to cover a few bases, and we're going to talk about how to choose the right kind of leads. So let me just go ahead and hop out of here real quick and bring up my handy dandy. Where did it go? I've got 3 screens and a big box hiding a bunch of stuff here. Forgive me. All right, there we go. So basically, I'm just typing in Google for towing companies. Now, the reason I'm picking towing companies initially is that we want companies that have this urgency, right? People, when they call them, they really need to get a hold of them. And for those companies, they really need a quick video at the front end, and then if you use a tool like Simple Video Pro, at the end of that video can be a click-to-call button, where someone can just press the button and call that company. Towing companies, locksmiths, emergency response type stuff, those companies are ripe for the picking, basically. And it's interesting to me to see the different levels that these companies are going to, and that they don't really understand how to market on the web. And here's a couple of examples. So I did local towing companies, and we've got A&I Towing Company of Citrus Heights. So I'm going to go over to their webpage and just check them out. It's a very basic page, and a couple things that I'm looking for. First of all, I want to know, do these guys have any clue what they're doing when they're marketing online? Okay, the less they know, the better for me, right? The better for you. So this company's got a really shallow website. Like if we go to services, if you're looking for excellent service, this looks like a very generic template that probably was thrown up using something like Website Tonight or something from their web host. Okay, nothing major here. A couple schools of thought on this. One is that they really don't know what they're doing, and so they need a lot of help. And the other is that they're not willing to invest the time in doing anything on the web. So, you got to kind of pick and feel what you want to, who you want to try to shoot for. But personally, I would shoot for these guys and just explain to them that their website needs revamping, because I actually build websites. But if you're just doing video, you can help them too, for sure. Here's another example, H&R Towing. Things to consider. These guys definitely are a bit more up to speed. It looks like they've got a WordPress site, so they're actively adding to it. If we go to their blog, we see they've got different types of tow trucks. They've got a bunch of articles. They're at least trying to do some kind of SEO. They're trying to do some kind of content. They've got Facebook, Google, Twitter going on, but they have no centralized homepage with a video on it. I would definitely be contacting these people. Okay, and before I do that, I'm going to gather some information about them, and a couple of things I want to gather. I can find my folder here. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. So I'm going to make folders in here for H&R Towing and the other one. I'm going to go and I'm going to drag their logo in here, copy their logo in, because I'm going to use that graphic, maybe modify it a little bit in Photoshop. I'm going to use that graphic, and I'm going to incorporate that graphic and their colors in a little quick 10-second video. Okay. Now, some people want to take the time and they want to surprise the customer with this, and some people want to call them and say, "Have you considered video? I'd like to make one for you. Is that okay?" If they say yes, then it's probably time more well spent. So you can always contact the company, ask them, what they're doing online, tell them you saw they have a website, you know about their services, and you're catering your call to them. You're not just reading some kind of a script. So I'm going to take down their site information as well. And the things that I'm looking for before I do any kind of video work for them is if they have social, if they're on Facebook, if they're on Twitter, Google+, and then I just drag the colors of their website on here so that I have it for future reference when I'm making a video. So all this stuff I just catalog into a folder. I keep track of them. You can put it in Excel. In this case, I put it into Notepad right here. And how I find the colors, people asking, is I just use a color picker. You can use ColorCop or any number of, if you just type in free color picker, there's a ton of them. Easy Eyedropper is one, etc. So I just color pick, go out, find the colors of their site, like their menu bar, and then I'm copying these codes into here, because when we get to the session where we talk about creating the loss leader video for customers, you're going to need this information. Okay, so I'm copying these colors and pasting them into these spots so that I know the color scheme that I'm going to adjust and make their video to. Because as you learn in the basic training, you don't have to stick with the colors and the backgrounds that VideoMaker FX slides come with. Those are just examples. So I would do this also for H&R or the Citrus Heights Tone Company. Get their colors, catalog it, contact them. So that's the kind of slow way to do this. All right. As far as finding out who's got who's got video and who doesn't have video, you have to go out and visit every site by searching in Google and searching for Google Places. The other way to do it, and this is what Peter has for us. I go, and you can tell, like I've said, all of the stuff that I actually use is in my install directory. And I'm just going to run the Video Profit FX Lead Finder. And I can get really specific here. Towing, and then I'm going to go specifically in my area, pull up a few of these results, and then within a 6-mile radius, it's going to go out there and it's going to do everything I just did, except it's going to do, I think it'll do up to 200, right? But I'm just doing 30 at a time for time's sake. And then I can find out instantly which sites have video, which sites do not have video, where their Facebook accounts are, where their Twitter accounts are. And so I can see how much opportunity I have with each one of these customers and then pick and choose the ones that I contact, because every single one of them has a phone number, and every single one of them, well, not every one of them has a website. So this is a much faster way of prospecting and finding those leads. Of course, you still have to go out, once you decide which ones you want to pick, you have to go out and contact them. Let's talk about finding leads for just a second. This is just kind of the research portion of it. But when you actually want contact leads, okay, using the lead finder, you don't, well, there's three ways that you can contact customers. Okay, you can do email, which would be your spamminess. You can do a telephone call, ask if they have a website. If you call somebody and you just say, hey, do you have a website? They're going to give you their website. I've never had anybody refuse, because that's the way they do business. If they don't, it spells opportunity, right? Or contact them in person. Now, which of the three approaches, email, phone, or in person, do you think would close the highest? Anybody? Bueller? And everybody's saying, well, I get some people saying in person, and most people are saying in person. Some people are saying on the phone. But Leslie actually just put it really well. 1-to-1. The answer is in person. Going and meeting with someone, shaking their hands, taking the time, that is a... I have two people that said belly to belly. I guess you're shaking their hands really close. That is where you're going to be able to actually be really professional, represent yourself, sell yourself, and make that contact count. But before you go in, doing your research is going to be exceedingly important. Okay? You're going to want to find out if they have a website, go to their website, find out the types of services that they need, like the Citrus Heights Towing Company. They need massive help on the website, and I'll bet you they know it. Show them 3 kinds of videos when you get there, okay? And we'll go over those kinds of videos that you can have in your portfolio as examples. But bring in a tablet. Okay? Bring in a tablet PC. Be ready to show them, or an iPhone or an iPad, rather. Be ready to show them a kinetic typography video that you create with VideoMaker FX. One of the animated explainer videos. And if you have the ability and resources, and talking with Joey Soto, you'll have that, because he does teach live action video, professional live action video. When you show them these things and then you back up your props with video marketing stats, statistics that show how much video marketing improves your sales, improves your lead generation, and engages people on your website, then we're talking massive, massive conversion numbers, as opposed to just sending out blind emails. If you're afraid to meet them in person, then then you can maybe telephone call them. Some people are terrified of the telephone. You can also send them an email and just give them a video, post it on your site, and say, I created a video for you. It's absolutely free. Let me know if you want to put it on your site. But you have to follow up, right? And you can't have that email be a generic email. You need to put in personalized information about the company, about the people. Find out who owns the company, okay? If you want, you can call them. A lot of these mom and pop towing companies, you generally need to call and find out where their office is. But you want to talk with the people in charge, not just the drivers, unless it's an independent. So that's just a real crash course on going out and prospecting. We're going to cover more detail, and we might even do some case studies to talk about how, the best successful ways. I mean, I'd like to hear from Liddy. How do you first approach a customer? People out there who are doing it, because I know there's a lot of you out there doing it. Okay, John says door to door. Wayne says referral. Okay, in person. Here, Vaughn, he joined the Chamber of Commerce. Absolutely, great way to do it. There's business groups. I was the part of a group called Let's Hip. It's national. Look up your local LaTip chapter, and you can do presentations there. They rotate presentations. You can tell everybody what you're about. And those are all small businesses. In fact, LaTip is one of the best. Chamber of Commerce is awesome. Facebook. Stu says he's in LaTip. Excellent. Jenny asks, what is LaTip? LaTip, LaTip is a national organization. I'm not sure if they're international, but I know that they're national in the United States. Organization where small groups of businesses basically get together, and they are part of they're called chapters, and they get together every week and meet and talk about business. They introduce each other to each other, and then they're required to bring in tips, a certain number of tips. And a tip is basically, hey, I know someone who makes video, and they're out there in the business world and talking to people, and they find someone who makes video, then they know who to point them to. You'll be their video guy. And I pretty much guarantee you that most LaTip chapters don't have a video guy. They can only have one type of business per chapter. So if you try web and they got a web guy, you can say, oh, I'm a video guy, right? Guarantee they don't have a video guy. So it's LETIP, LaTip. All right? So enough of that. This wasn't about LaTip, but that is an excellent resource. So is the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for the ideas, everybody. Really appreciate it. We want to get in front of these businesses. And now let's move on, because I don't want to take up too much time. We've got to make this a little bit short. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ain Tompkin. And let me tell you something about Ain, okay? I know a lot of people who write copy. And I've written my own. It's very difficult for me to do. I'm more technical, all right? Writing emails is something that I've tried my hand at. I've never been very good at. And I want to tell you, he's the only guy that I know that actually applies. If any of you have heard about the pillars of copy, okay? He actually applies the pillar of copy. And not only does he apply it, but he understands how to do it in just about everything that he does, everything he writes, everything that he puts together for presentations,